When I leave this time, I ain't coming back no more. Howdy, hoist. I'm in Covenant House, come on, that yakety yak. Come here, woman, come on, that yakety yak. Don't make me nervous, cause I'm holding a baseball bat. Take it high, silver. Hi-yo, silver. Say hi-yo, silver. Hi-yo, silver. Say hi-yo, silver. Hi-yo, silver. Hi-yo, silver. Hi-yo, silver. Take it high-yo, silver. Hi-yo, silver. Say hi-yo, silver.
Villanova University's WXVU Villanova, serving the main line, including Montgomery, Delaware, and Chester counties at 89.1 on your FM dial. We're streaming online at our website, wxvu.org. Nominated for Best Station Imaging for Swinging Fridays at the 2024 National Student Production Awards. We are V89.1, The Roar.
Good morning, Nova Nation. You're listening to the Morning Roar on 89.1 WXVU The Roar. I'm MK Coolican.
And I'm Nick Williams.
And we are back with another episode for the fall 2024 semester. Today, we will have a shorter sports section. Our sports guy, Steve, couldn't join us today. He's had a really busy week over at WXVU Sports. Yep. But we will try and improvise as best we can for you guys. And Nick, tell them who we'll be joined with later.
Our special guest for our interview section this morning will be John Iezzi, the owner of Campus Quarter. We know him. You love him. He's the man. He's also my boss. But we look forward to that. We're going to be talking all things Campus Corner and about that culture.
Yeah, Camco Pizza is the holy grail of Villanova, so I think this will be an especially interesting interview for today. But just wishing you all a great Friday. Again, it's Friday, November 15th, to pass the 9 o'clock hour here. So let's get right into it. Nick, what's the first question we're going to throw to the viewers? Talk a little bit about.
So where before we went on air, I noticed we didn't have a game plan again, but
what else is new, guys?
What else is new?
It's 9 a.m. on a Friday. We're just getting by.
But we can make this work. We always made this work. And you tossed the question to me, MK, about what's the best grocery stores in the area. So tell me, where do you shop?
Okay, recently it's been Giant. The Giant Rewards, guys, I gotta put you on. It's free to sign up, and you save so much money. I think I went grocery shopping there for like the next 2 weeks, right? So I dropped a pretty penny, probably like $75. Mm-hmm. I saved, I think, $27.
No way, $27.
It's ridiculous, and it's free. It's a free rewards program.
What, do they flood your inbox with spam or something?
No. I think it's literally to get college students to come because there's so many. Like my other favorite grocery store, I was going to say Trader Joe's. Low prices. They make their own brands. But what will drive you to Giant? What's the incentive? The Giant Rewards program.
That is so true. I never really thought about that because, yeah, that's so true. Because I know for a fact that when I'm at home, I shop at Stop and Shop, which is basically the same thing. But I scared the key card and it's like, yeah, I get a couple of dollars off, but I never thought it could get up to like almost $30 worth of like cash back. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Ridiculous. Okay. I'm throwing it your way.
All right. I'm about to put y'all on game. Lock in. So y'all know Giant. Y'all know Trader Joe's. Y'all might know Acme. You probably know Acme. But what do you know about Maido in Ardmore? It's this Japanese grocery store.
Okay.
Yeah. Then they have like a I don't think it's a sushi section. It might be more like a bento box section. But you get like a meal, like a lunch or like a dinner box, like a bento box. And then there's like the grocery store section. Well, maybe it's not a grocery store per se, but it's more like you get all your Asian like snacks. You're getting all of your Asian like your instant ramens and stuff like that. You're getting your drinks, and it's all right there. And it's a really cute part of town too, because there's like the coffee shops, there's the bars, and there's a lot of just cool stuff around. And there you have, I think, I don't watch anime, so I'm probably going to get this wrong. If I get this wrong, anime fans, please don't come kill me. But I think it's Totoro, like the big, the big
Totoro. Yes.
There's a statue of him out front. You can take a picture of them. It's so dope.
That's fire. That is really fire. How are the prices?
Prices are reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not like it's like H Mart prices.
Okay.
If you've been to H Mart, they're H Mart prices.
I feel like for college kids, it's never like, how's the quality of the food? It's always like, is it cheap? If it's cheap, I'm there.
Is there caloric value? I don't care about nutrition, just calories.
Okay, folks, we're going to expand here from best grocery stores in the area from our inside scoop. Best places to eat. What have you been loving recently? It can be a chain. It cannot be a chain.
So I don't get a lot of opportunities to eat off campus, because not only I just work at Camco, I have to get my shift meals at Camco, and I just eat on campus all the time. However, I will say I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but if you get off at 30th Station or 30th Street, that station,
and that's in Philly for those who don't know.
Yep, in Philly, there is maybe a 5-minute walk. There is a banh mi shop, but the size of like half the size of this room, about the size of a closet.
Wow, it
is tiny, and they make sincerely banging banh mi.
Wow, what kind of meat?
It's they could go from like what's it called? There's like the barbecue, and there's the pate, and then there's
because I had tofu banh mi a couple weeks back, and that was banging.
That was banging.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of tofu,
and that's just because I'm a vegetarian, right?
Oh,
like it's what I'm working with, folks. Like when you haven't had chicken in 4 years, it's like, wow, this tastes awesome, but deep down, it's not all that great. But for tofu banh mi, it was banging.
Where'd you get it from?
Ardmore Music Hall.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Wow.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Their kitchen is ridiculous. It's so good.
All right, MK, put me on game. Where do I need to be spending my paychecks at?
Okay. As always, the Snap breadsticks, the cheesy sticks.
And where can we find this?
Snap Pizza in, what is that? Bryn Mawr. Like a little past the CVS and McDonald's if you're driving out of Nova. It's connected to Hope's Cookies. So this is my thing. It's a 2-for-1er. Mm-hmm. Like you go in and I usually get the mozzarella breadsticks, gas, and cheap. It's like $6. Then, if I have a little more money to spend, maybe I'm copying a caprese salad, right?
There you go.
The full Italian meal. And then you have Hope's Cookies. They have day-old cookies, 3 for $1.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
So you can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong. The other place I would put people onto is Bar Luca in Conshohocken. If you like Italian food, if you want to drop a little more money, go to Bar Luca.
Damn.
Yeah.
Get all the insider information here from MK.
Italian cuisine, baby. That's my specialty. Carbs, carbs, and carbs. Okay. Next segment.
This is where we go start going into the blind zone.
This is where we go into the blind zone. How was your week? What do you want to talk about? What irked you? What surprised you? What do we want to send to the listeners and the viewers?
So it's finally getting cold. It is finally getting to those 50s, those 40s. We've hit 30s this week.
Yes.
It is cold. It is officially 100% hoodie season. I don't want to see t-shirts. I don't want to see shorts. If I walk into Bartley and I see dogs out in Bartley, I am crashing out.
I just avoid Bartley. Except the sandwiches are gas, guys. The Exchange, go check it out.
But yeah, what's the fits looking like? What are we pulling out of the closet?
My fits, guys, I pulled up today in like an army vest. I don't know if Nick saw it, but it's like this multi-paneled. My mom jokes and she calls it my smoker vest because
There
it
you
looks
go.
like a smoking jacket. But this thing is versatile. I'm from Michigan, so like you don't know if it's gonna be 50 or like -5 in the winter.
Yeah.
So you throw that thing on over a hoodie. I wear it open if it's hot, closed if it's cold. Gets me through any situation.
That's like a lot like my leather jacket that I wore today.
Yes.
I've had this jacket for maybe like 8 years. This is a jacket that has gotten me through thick and thin. And this is like the go-to. This is the jacket I actually hang on the back of my chair in my apartment. If I ever need to go out and get something, just boom, leather jacket. I don't care. No, there's no thought. It just goes with everything, and it keeps me warm no matter what.
Leather jackets have been coming back.
It has, and let me tell you right now, it is. I watched TikTok or a YouTube video the other day about like what kind of style a lot of guys want, right? And they were talking about like put yourself in a bar with a bunch of guys wearing like a hoodie or like a t-shirt or whatever, and then there's one
The
guy
infamous sports jerseys. Take your pick.
in the sports jersey, but there's one guy with a cool jacket. Who do you want to talk to? It's probably the guy with the cool jacket, right?
So the leather jacket is your in at the bar,
A little bit.
essentially.
not that I go to the bar a lot, but like I don't got bands like that.
Honestly, guys, the going out culture here. Let's talk about it.
Mm.
How are you dropping $100 to go to Philly?
Oh my god! Tell me about it. How are you going to clubs in Philly? First of all, how are you timing SEPTA?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Are you paying $50, $60, $70 for an Uber back when it's 1 a.m. and after SEPTA closes?
And not to say that Villanova students ever get inebriated, right? Like, we are all by the book here at this university. But it's crazy. You're dropping $50 on an Uber there and back. You're dropping money at wherever you go. You're getting food after. Maybe it's late. Maybe you're going to Camco. We're going
Probably
to talk to
Camco.
John later, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. That's a tab. And that's one night. I have friends who go out 3 nights a week.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
Yeah.
That's like half your week.
Or like, think about it. I had formals this week on Wednesday and Thursday. Some people have formals on Monday. You're going out Monday, Thursday, Friday.
That's ridiculous. Because in my head, I'm thinking like when you're going out, you're dropping $100, like probably on average $300 a week. What kind of income? What?
Yeah,
Where's that money coming from?
exactly.
That's crazy.
And so I'm like, okay, some of these people have jobs, right? But I'm like, you're working in the history department for $10 an hour. Like, I know you're not making any ridiculous amount of money right now. So this lifestyle, like, will it catch up to you?
It probably will, because one day one day that cash flow is going to stop coming in, and you're going to have your own job and your own rent, and there's going to be groceries to pay. And
Next week, it's the financial planning episode of the Morning Roar. Roth IRAs, baby, all day.
this is why there's why I stay home and I have my bevs at home.
Oh my gosh. I agree. Also, like, I'm just thinking people don't even leave to go out till 11 p.m.
Or so like 10ish, yeah.
You know?
At that point, you're like getting like, because if you're, let's say you leave at 10 p.m., like something kind of normal. Call it 9 even. Call it 9.
Yeah.
To get into Center City using SEPTA, you're basically, it's about an hour.
Yeah.
So you get there at 10, you probably go to the bar for 2 hours and it's midnight, right? And then maybe you start saying, oh, if we start heading back to campus, we can get Campus Corner. That's another hour back. And then you spend maybe half hour to an hour at Campus Corner or something like that. And then you go home because we close at 2. At what point is that like smart? Because at that point, you're basically spending half or more than half of your time not partying.
Exactly.
Quick maths.
Exactly. But you're in the party mindset.
You're in the party mindset. You get the party clothes on.
Yes.
Right? Especially now.
These girls, I'm like, I'm walking past these girls like in nothing.
How are they not cold?
No, I know you're cold.
I
because I've worn that same outfit, and again, I've done the Nick. I have started bringing a jacket. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Even like the jacket only covers the upper half of your body. Like these people got the whole legs out, bro.
Yes.
Like
The mini skirts in February.
dude, what?
Girl, I know. You can wear jeans. It's okay. We're all wearing jeans. Yeah. So if you know where we stand with staying warm this winter, maybe throw on a leather jacket when you go to the bar. You could get lucky, right?
Yeah, honestly, guys, if I would put you on game, cool jacket, cool hat.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, like jeans and like a wallet chain, baby. I just got myself my first wallet chain. I got a couple of rings yesterday.
Okay. Let's go.
I've been trying it out and I feel a little bit different. I mean, these might not be the rings that I end up sticking with, but these are the ones that I kind of called out to me in the Spencer's.
The racing ones are cool.
I got a couple checkered flag ones. I got like a wedding band style one on my pinky here. You know.
Let's go. Ring game is always a level up.
It kind of is.
I wear one, and it was a big level up for me. A ring and a watch, and that's all I put on in the morning.
Oh my god, MK's got this on, this like stainless steel chrome Casio. Oh my god.
Cop it, $19.99, baby.
Absolute aura.
Get on
Plus
the Casio.
9,000 aura.
Okay, after this, we're gonna, shoot the you-know-what, as we always do. But it's 9:15 here on your Friday. I'm MK Coolican.
And I'm Nick Williams.
And we'll be back with the Morning Roar right after this.
This is Ethan Silva, the program director for WXVU, and you're listening to 89.1 The Roar.
Start your weekend off right with a swingin' sensation. Tune into Swingin' Fridays on V89.1 The Roar, where the classics never fade. From the smooth crooning of Frank Sinatra to the velvet voice of Tony Bennett, we've got the perfect playlist. Join us every Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for a swingin' good time. Only on Villanova's V89.1 The Roar.
Play-Doh paper due tomorrow? Need a fresh set of eyes to look over your final draft? Haven't even started yet? You can make an appointment at the Villanova University Writing Center, located on the second floor of Falvey Memorial Library. The Writing Center is full of professionally trained tutors who assist Villanova students of all majors on their writing assignments, from personal statements to thesis papers, at any stage in the writing process. Hours of operation are Sunday from 3:30 to 7:30, Monday through Thursday from 11:30 to 7:30, and Friday from 11:30 to 3:30. Stop in or call 610-519-4604 to make an appointment today.
Thanks for listening to the Morning Roar on 89.1 WXVU The Roar. You can find us on your FM signal. We have the 10-mile radius around campus, so wiggle that dial in the car to 89.1, or I don't know if anyone owns radios anymore, but if you have a radio in your room, you can listen to us there. Also on the Radio FX app, just type in Villanova University, click play, and we will come up, or on our website at WXVU.org. If you can't get enough of Nick and I's lovely voices, you can check us out there. We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify for every episode of The Morning Roar. Nick, where are we starting off segment 2?
So let's talk about live music. Right in our break here, MK and I were talking about what kind of live music we're going to be seeing this weekend. I'm going to be seeing G-Eazy at Union Transfer. MK, you are seeing?
I am seeing Vienna Teng. Guys, this is definitely older people music.
Yep.
But who says I don't love older people music? Because that's literally all I play on my show. Vienna Teng is an American pianist and singer-songwriter. My mom put me on. Granted, my mom is 59 years old, right? So we have a 39-year age gap, and we like the same music, which I think is pretty phenomenal. but I just think that has to show how timeless it is. Her favorite song of mine is Harbor, so definitely check that out. Harbor by Vienna Tang. And this will be my first concert at like a dinner / jazz club, which I'm super excited about. Yeah, she just has like really uplifting music, really, really pretty soprano. Yeah, just stuff that I'm excited to see. Other stuff I've seen recently, I saw Anderson .Paak at the Mann Center. That was ridiculous. If you're a Mac Miller fan, he did a whole tribute to Mac, which was just super, super cool to see. The venue's awesome, as usual. We were in like the upper deck area as compared to the lawn, and that was really good because we got to see so much. And then the one before that I saw, Tom Petty and Grateful Dead cover bands, which I've talked about here before. Check out Ardmore Music Hall, Bangin' Tofu Banh Mi, as we were saying.
Mhm.
And then this summer I saw Hozier when I was in Austria, and that was definitely a top 10 memory for me. But those are the last 5 artists that I have seen live. Upcoming stuff in Philly, Slow Dive plays tonight at Franklin Music Hall.
Mhm.
Couple of friends going to that, so there should be some last minute tickets if you like Slow Dive. I think all the band members are in their 60s, so it should be a good time. Nick, where are you going tomorrow night?
So, like I said, I'm going to see G-Eazy, IDK, and Goody Grace on tomorrow, Saturday, at the Union Transfer Music Hall. And I kind of want to talk about like the experience of seeing live music. So, me personally, this is probably my first, my second real concert I've been to. Probably my first real concert experience, actually, because I got VIP tickets, which means I'm getting floor tickets. And I get early access, probably right up against the barriers on the floor. Yeah, it's going to be a good night. Because my last concert I went to, my first real concert I went to, was Joji at Wells Fargo.
Yes, we were talking about this.
Yeah, but I got I originally bought nosebleed tickets and they upgraded me to lower bowl. I wasn't on the floor, but I was close enough to be able to see Joji and not like be like, ooh, where's everyone, all the musicians, right? It was a great time, but I didn't feel like I was sitting. Right. Joji's not like a stand up and have a good time music. Joji's kind of like, iPhone flashlight on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it all in moment.
Yeah.
Got
and I feel like that comes as an effect of me being a performing artist myself. I'm part of the band. I go out and I play music all the time. I go to Wells Fargo and perform there, which is crazy to think about. That's a 20,000 person venue that I perform for. And there's probably millions more tuning in on live television. And I've been on live television before. Not a lot of people that can say that.
Was that last year the band was on?
Last year and the year before. Yeah, the year before our freshman year, I wasn't on playing as much because that's kind of the freshman thing. As a drummer, you don't play a lot because you got to learn the culture, you got to learn like the motions of the game.
Real.
But this last year, I was playing a lot. I was on TV a lot. I was on the Jumbotron a lot. This year, I'm guessing it's gonna be the same thing. But that has really like affected how I enjoy music in general, but especially how I enjoy live music because I recognize how those sets go.
Yeah,
I understand the motions. I understand the vibe around it, and I can't tell whether or not it's like ruined my concert going experience or it's enhanced it because it kind of goes both ways, right? Because I can be critical of the music that I'm listening to. And I can be like, this artist is performing amazingly, right? They have the transitions down. They are on point with musical cues. They're on point with their how the set list is built. But at the same time, if I'm not like the Rusty Nail and listening to some high school kids band, I'm also just like,
shout out Blue Ride band.
Shout out Blue Ride
at the Rusty Nail.
Shout out Blue Ride. Shout out Off the Reserve.
Yeah, Bench Steelers. I think. Yeah, we've got some good Nova bands, guys. They should have a show coming up early December, so maybe Nick and I will make it out to the Nail for live music.
We should do a live from the nail morning roar.
Bring the crowd mic.
Yes,
There it is.
But what do you think? How do you approach going to see live music?
I love live music. I think for me too, like I play the guitar, grew up singing in choir, that type of thing. So it takes so much time, I know, to put in to have something sound that perfectly, right? Because they're not messing up.
Yep.
It's perfect. And if they do mess up, it sounds good. So yeah, I will always prefer live music over recorded stuff. But a part of me also is scared to do what you're doing, like the floor tickets.
Yeah.
Because it's like, never meet your heroes.
Yeah,
You know? So I'm usually like a middle of the pack nosebleeds or like reasonably priced tickets.
Mhm.
Like I'm not someone to drop $500 on a concert.
and people are spending $5,000 on like Eras tour tickets.
Adele. Why are you seeing Adele right now, guys? she will be back and it will be way cheaper.
Yep.
It will be way cheaper. But respect, honestly, like I know I would kill for that experience, right?
Big facts.
So, you can't hate that much. I love live music. I'm hoping the dream for WXVU guys is to expand down this hallway, especially with us buying Cabrini. If we could do a live, like have a drum kit and like an amp and a couple of guitars, and we could have bands come in and play live.
Mm-hmm. That would be a lot of fun. I feel like this was an e-board meeting last year, talking about how we're going to utilize our new space, which is going to be where now?
They said Cabrini, but I have had a couple meetings with our like campus activities team and media groups, and they're thinking that we might stay
Mhm.
because essentially Cabrini is only going to be used for sports and a couple classes and dorming.
Hey, Kat, if you're listening, pull out an earbud. Listen, viewers, MK, I will not stand for for this station to move to Cabrini's campus. I just cannot.
Yes, these are two seasoned people saying this. I totally agree.
Yep.
The traffic is going to be terrible.
It's gonna be terrible. The commute is going that. If you want to get freshmen involved with this station or underclassmen in general, moving any sort of like clubs or like student involvement programs off campus is probably the stupidest thing you could do. Point blank. Period.
I agree. And, I appreciate what they're doing. Like, they're trying to expand Villanova. But this is the thing. We're expanding I think we're going to get an enrollment of 10,000. So it's not like there's going to be extra beds.
No.
We're going to have the same issue in 4 years. Seniors still aren't going to get housing. Senior numbers came out yesterday.
Did you get one?
How are we looking? I did.
You. What? My roommate got it. My other roommate got it. My other roommate didn't get it. But like, dude, I want to live somewhere, man.
So what do you think? Props?
It might be props.
Okay.
It might be
Props is the like student apartments for those that don't know. It's like 5 minutes from Villanova.
yeah. Honestly, it might also have to be the villas. I don't know if I can afford the villas. I haven't looked. I don't want to look.
Yeah.
But listen,
Yeah.
I will sleep under the bridge if I have to. I do not care.
There's a couch in the WXVU
There is
station,
a couch
guys.
in the WXVU station.
Nick may be moving in here. Don't tell residents.
Don't tell Res Life.
Okay, before we head to our break here, upcoming things. Let's look at weather for this weekend in Villanova, PA. 61 degrees. Oops, that's the wrong day. Nope. Today, Friday, 58 degrees Fahrenheit, low of 42. Looking at partly cloudy, probably Saturday. You'll have a lot of sun, high of 61, low of 36. Sunday, the holy day, high of 62, low of 40. So it'll be, not hot, but not cold. I think that's pretty perfect. So if you want to do homework outside, definitely look at Saturday or Sunday. Saturday will be sunny. Sunday's going to be the highest with 62 degrees. Next week, we're going to see a little bit of rain on Wednesday and Thursday. But other than that, should be a pretty good week. And then Christmas is almost upon us.
Yep.
The Villanova annual Christmas tree lighting will take place on Thursday, December 5th from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Riley Ellipse which is what students call the Oreo.
Yep.
So if you want to check that out, Thursday, December 5th from 4 to 8 p.m., we're going to talk about it early because my roommates have been playing Christmas music.
It's too early, bro.
You know, I guess it's that time. But it is almost 9:30 here, so we're going to go to break. And when we come back, we're going to talk all things Campus Corner Pizza.
Yes, we are.
And we will be back right after this. You're listening to 89.1 WXVU The Roar FM.
What's going on, everyone? I'm AJ Malo, the host of Thoughts of Yesterday with AJ, and you are listening to WXVU V89.1 The Roar.
The morning that it happened, I remember just waking up feeling so overwhelmed and basically helpless that I honestly didn't know what else to do. So I remember just going for my pill bottle, and then I would take one, and then I just kept taking more in hopes that I'll just fall asleep and just never wake up.
If you or someone you know at Villanova needs help, contact the Student Counseling Center at 610-519-4050. The National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available by dialing 988.
This message was brought to you by senior nursing students in the Health Promotion course at the Villanova Fitzpatrick College of Nursing, the Office of Health Promotion, and WXVNU Health, Villanova University Radio.
The Smooth Jazz Top 20 Countdown with Alan Kepler highlights the hottest new smooth jazz. Log on to smoothjazznetwork.com to vote on this week's feedback track. And listen to the Top 20 Countdown heard every Saturday at 8 a.m. on V89.1 The Roar.
I do the same thing I told you.
You should put these on. No. Do you have an array of things you're thinking of asking me or something? I don't know.
Good morning, Nova Nation. We are back. It is 9:31 on this Friday, and Nick's going to take the lead here on this interview because we're interviewing his boss.
Yes, we are. Hello, Z. How you doing?
So, what's happening, brother? Thanks for having me.
So,
so give a little intro here, Nick. Why are we talking to John, nicknamed Z, which I found out?
My last name's Iaz, so that was my nickname from a young age. Everybody calls me Z, but that's okay.
Got it. That is so cool.
Yeah.
So, John, tell a little bit about yourself to the people. Why do you run Campus Core? What makes you motivated to run that shop just down the corner?
Feeding and keeping my 8 kids alive.
Someone got to pay the bills.
I have 5 biological kids. Unfortunately, I lost their mom, my first wife, 8 years ago to a battle with breast cancer. Mm-hmm. I've since remarried. Beautiful young lady, my wife Colleen, who has 3 kids of her own, and we also have 2 little granddaughters that are from my oldest biological daughter. So Julianne and Gabriella are my granddaughters. Started working at Campus Corner literally 40 years ago.
Wow.
I worked there for 18 years as just like a regular employee trying to make some extra money to go buy diapers and formula when my 5 biological kids were young. My oldest is now 39, but so I worked there for 18 years. At that point, a good friend of mine was the manager at Campus Corner when I first started working there. I was working at another pizza shop. It was known as La Nova. It was down the street by where Starbucks currently is. And there was a roller rink in the back there. So it was the pizza shop was there. I came from West Philly working for the guy that opened that place. And one day I was making a delivery from there to O'Dwyer. And I was hopping the wall out back Campus Corner. I heard a voice say, "Hey, John, what are you doing?" Here, it was a guy that I grew up with that I didn't know was the manager at Campus Corner.
Wow.
And he said, "Why don't you come work for us?" I was like, "Well, Vince from Vincent's in West Philly just opened here. I can't just leave him like that." Long story short, fast forward a couple months. This was in September of that particular year. The Super Bowl came. It was snowing. I was in my 1975 Volkswagen Rabbit that I bought.
What
at
a
auction.
car.
I bought it at auction for like $200 in the Poconos. I didn't even think it was going to make it back down here. Anyway, I was using that for years. And my windshield wipers weren't working that Super Bowl when I was working for Vince, and he got all mad at me because I told him I couldn't go to Cabrini, because I couldn't see going down King of Prussia Road. Anyhow, he wasn't even there that day, left me and the other guy to run the show for the Super Bowl. So I got a little pissed off at that he was angry at me for not driving with no windshield wipers in the snow. And I went to see my boy Harvey, who was the voice at the back door Campus Corner that day, a couple months prior when I was going to LaDwyer. And I said, can you guys hire me? They hired me like on the spot. I stayed there for 18 more years. And then he bought the place and asked me. At the time, I was actually managing the Bel Air Terrace here at Villanova in the Conley Center.
Wow.
And I did that from like 92 to 98. But I was working simultaneously at Campus Corner. Like I said, I had 5 kids. I had aspirations of staying working for the university to put my kids through school, because back then there was a perk, 100% tuition for your kids. But
if only that was now.
Yeah. And I also wanted to keep them alive. So I decided to take his offer to become manage the store at Campus Corner, which I did for 5.5 years. And he lived up to his handshake agreement back when he solicited me to run the place for him. Everybody thought I was the owner. He was like only there from like 6 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. I was there open to close 7 days a week back then.
Wow.
Anyways, and he lived up to his promise, and he sold the business to me in 2002. So I worked there for 18 years, and I bought the place 22 years ago. So now here, that's where we get the 40.
40.
Yeah. Best 2 weeks of my life, I tell people. But it flies. Anyhow.
That is so cool.
I'm sticking to it. I mean, I'm blessed. I thank God every day. I enjoy what I do. I'm just happy to be in the starting lineup today, as they say,
Yeah. That is so cool. Obviously, it's a hot spot for Villanova students. Yeah. So I think for anyone looking to go to Camco, or even if I think a lot of people get the same thing every time, you get, really attached to what are the Zilly fries?
The Zilly fries. You see a lot more of the Mac Bites and the Moz Sticks.
Yes.
Yeah.
But John, from an insider perspective, what is your favorite item on the menu, and what makes it special to you?
Well, I'm a corned beef kind of guy, so I like the Reuben.
Okay.
Grilled corned beef, Swiss cheese, grilled with sauerkraut. It's nice. And when people ask me, like you are, to give them a recommendation, then they try it, and then that's their go-to all the time. But I'd like to, I don't know if you guys know the story behind the Zilly fries.
No, share it.
Ooh, lore.
We would love to hear this.
So the story behind the Zilly fries was, I can't remember the year. I want to say 8 years ago. It could be 7. It could be 10. It was a student. His name was Billy Zimmerman. Back then, we had the Zilly fries on the menu, but it wasn't called Zilly fries. It was called the bacon and ranch mozzarella fry. It was like a loaded fry per se. Had no name to it. Unfortunately, Billy Zimmerman, who was a great kid, he had 2 other siblings that came to Villanova after him. He was away on a spring break and was tragically killed in a car accident in a taxi cab. I believe it was Mexico. Don't quote me on that. Car got T-boned, and there was like 6 Villanova kids in there. I don't think anyone else was even injured or even seriously, or maybe minor injuries, but he got killed.
Wow.
So then that spring break ended. On the Sunday that the students returned, a bunch of his fraternity brothers and a lot of sorority girls came into the store asking my son Anthony and I to change that loaded fry, bacon and ranch mozzarella fry, call it what you will, to the Zilly fry, hence Billy Zimmerman. So that's where the Zilly thing came, because as the story goes, there was a spring fling down at UP, University of Pennsylvania, that he attended, and he was all nervous. And this kid was, I mean, I'm saying this as a guy now. He was a handsome kid, like never meticulous, always dressed to the T.
Yeah.
Smelled like a bottle of cologne. I mean, he was a good looking kid and very charismatic. And anyway, so his sorority and fraternity brothers and sisters came in that Sunday and asked us to change the name of that loaded fry to the Zilly fry. Now, I don't know if, I think they tell that story I'm not 100% like during freshman orientation, because so for some reason all the freshmen come in and they all know about the Zilly Fry. Now whether they just know the name, the Zilly Fry, but I don't think they know the story behind the Zilly Fry.
Yeah,
And
it's
then-
definitely famous.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure.
yeah, but that's how it started. That's where the name came from.
That is such a cool way to remember
Billy.
someone.
And Billy was a great kid. I got to know his brother. I want to say Sean, and he had a sister that went here. They've recently graduated. Good kids, great family. I've met his parents numerous times. I've met the head of the fraternity in this region, an older guy that still meets with the fraternity members like every 3 months, like on a Sunday, and he comes in and buys like 75 Zilly Fries to bring to the meeting, because I think, and they also, his fraternity, and I'm terrible with names of fraternities, I could find out the name, but they raised $100,000 and gave it to the university. Evidently, if you give the university $100,000, you can have a scholarship in your name forever, and they did that and they accomplished it.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is really cool. And MK mentioned something about the culture around Campus Corner, especially the late nights on Fridays and Saturdays when we close at 2 a.m. Kind of, not really. So can you tell me some about like some of the busiest or like the most memorable late nights you have
right
at Campus Corner?
Well, we're open till 2 on Fridays and Saturdays. We used to be open till 3 prior to COVID.
Stop.
We reduced it to 2.
Wow.
And we never went back, because it's like, I'm getting older. I just can't hang. Usually when we would close at 3, I would get home at like 4:45.
Yeah.
And then I have to be back at like 10:30 the next morning. Anyway, that got old. I mean, that was our busiest hour of the week, the 2 to 3. I mean, imagine Kelly's and Flips and all those places closing and everybody comes to Campus Corner.
Yep.
I mean, it gets out of control. I mean, I guess it's a good problem. Sometimes people get a little unruly. We've had a lot of incidents as of late that I'm not like proud of, but at the same time,
Is there a Campus Corner bouncer in your future?
there should be. There really, really should be. But I mean, just for somebody to be there to like keep the peace. And I got news for you. I love the Villanova kids. The Villanova kids have great, respect, values. I rarely have problems with the Villanova kids. It's more the high school kids in the area. The Harrison School.
Yeah.
They think they're entitled. They actually have come in recently and start arguments and fights deliberately with Villanova kids. I've had an incident recently where it was homecoming and there was graduate students. I mean, no people that I'm sorry, correct me. There was kids that graduated 4 or 5 years ago, and there's like about 8 of them sitting at the larger booth, and this kid comes up and starts like threatening them, making sexual derogatory remarks to the females that were at the table. And it turned out that one of the kids there, and I didn't know it at the time, I called the cops. The cops came and immediately locked the kid up, and I was like shocked. Like they didn't even question him. The reason they locked him up is an hour prior, he was at a local home where the parents were allowing alcohol to a bunch of high school, about 300 kids. They broke up that party, and he was flipping the cops' attitude, and they cut him a break and let him go. But then fast forward when they came to my place an hour later, and it was the same kid. They just locked him.
Yeah, you lost your chance, buddy.
And I felt bad. I have 8 kids. I don't want to call the cops. I don't want any problems. I if anything, I think the cops make certain situations worse.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. But where I was going with this, one of the the students that had graduated, was an alum, was a daughter of an employee of the university. I won't mention any names. And her mom called me that Monday thanking me because they were petrified of this kid. Now they were with a few males, and these guys graduated Villanova 4, 5, 6 years ago, but they have good jobs in the financial world and on Wall Street. They know better. They have more sense than just get up and like throw the kid out the doors. So they didn't want to do anything because they have a lot to lose, like as I do. I'm not going to put my hands on anybody even though they deserve it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. But that's why you just call 911 and let them handle it.
Yeah.
And it's an unfortunate thing because it ruins a good time. We're all there. It's loud. It's this. And I get it. A lot of people are intoxicated and it's part of their night. That's what you do. That's what you do in college. But at the same time, you got to have respect for others and respect.
And it's supposed to be fun. Yeah. End your night on a high note, right?
Yeah. There's a balance that needs to be struck.
Yeah.
Well, John, looking ahead here, how How do you balance keeping Campus Corners traditions while also keeping things fresh and making sure that regulars come back? Especially with the menu, I always wonder, like, how do you change that? What goes into that?
That's a
I know
great
you guys
question.
just
That's an area-
renovated.
Yeah, that's an area. Well, we renovated with the intent. I didn't even get to that part of selling alcohol. We have a liquor license. We can sell
Wow.
takeout beer and also allow alcohol within the place. But here we go again with the locals, the high school kids and all. They all have fakes. The fakes work. I have 8 kids. I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah.
And right during COVID, the opportunity presented itself for me to obtain that liquor license, which I did. And then it all got bogged down for like 2.5, 3 years for COVID. The courts closed, the LCB closed. And then all of a sudden, fast forward, it all started to reopen. So we needed to renovate. We needed to make room, which I did for, refrigeration and all this other stuff. But I couldn't sleep. I lost 30 pounds in 30 days.
Wow.
And it did the whole thought of selling alcohol to minors legal, because their card would swipe, even though I know who these kids are. I know their parents. I probably remember the day they were born, and I know they're still in high school. Just didn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
So I decided I still possess the license. I'm in the process of selling it. I just didn't want to go out on my back 9 per se of working at camp and owning Campus Corner on a note when, God forbid, a kid wrapped a car around a tree or anything. So I made the decision that my peace of mind and my morals and scruples superseded any monetary gain.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
I respect that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, and it's going to happen anyway, but it's not going to happen because something that I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's the way I looked at it.
Yep.
Let's face it, they're getting alcohol everywhere.
Yeah.
And my place is already chaotic enough at 2 a.m.
Yes.
Like if I'm,
Heck, it's
pushing out
chaotic at
alcohol.
9 p.m.
Yeah,
sometimes. It's crazy in there.
Exactly. But anyway.
So I think this is going to be our last question for this part of the interview. What's something like people might not realize about what goes on behind the scenes to make Campus Corner run smoothly?
A lot of organization and prep work.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you ever get behind the line in the kitchen?
oh God,
Yeah.
many times. I mean, that's where I started. That's what I did for years. And it still happens occasionally, especially during COVID when nobody had help.
Yeah.
And another thing is that these days it's like you can't just hire a guy for $10, $12 an hour anymore. That's everybody comes in, they want $20+ an hour, but they have 2 left hands.
Yeah.
So I always tell them, look, I'm not opposed to paying you your number or whatever, but you got to show me. You just can't tell me that you're the next best thing since sliced bread and then come in and you can't really even follow the storyline. It gets hectic at times. It's a good problem. I'm blessed to have guys that have been with me 30 years. I have, girls and, Beth, one in particular, has been with me 35 years.
Wow.
I got other cooks that have been 10, 12, 15 years because I like to consider myself, I know what it takes to be in that position. I know what it takes to provide for your family. So I try to be as fair as I can, as long as they're giving the effort and are doing a good job with, what I compensate them and how I compensate them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess one more thing I'll ask you is, do you love the location?
Oh, of course.
Right at the base of Villanova?
Of course.
You can't beat it.
No, I was fortunate enough to fall into that situation. I was blessed enough to know and be friendly with the athletic program. Coach Wright, back in 2019, CBS approached Jay to do a national TV interview, and he could pick the location off campus in a bar or a restaurant. He chose Campus Corner.
That is so cool.
It was on national TV for 45 minutes. He sat there with John Rothstein, who was like a sports guy from CBS Sports.
Yeah.
And, that was like just a memorable moment that he even thought to do that. And I was sitting right behind him the other night when we lost to Columbia. And I kind of feel bad for Neptune because how do you come in and try to replace Jesus Christ? That's what I always say. I mean, like Coach Wright was the man, and still is.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel between having to fill his shoes and also put up with the portal and the nil.
Yes.
I mean, it's not,
and NIL money.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean by the nil. Yeah. And it's just, how do you, it's a lot to take on. And like, I know a lot of people are used to the, the success in the past of the program. And I think he is, gets, like they're calling for his job. They're yelling and screaming, fire Neptune, this and that. And like you and I, Nick, spoke about this the other day.
They're saying it at St. Joe's too. They're screaming for his name at Joe's.
I was there.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, you got to cut him a break. However, there is something to be said. Like he shouldn't be. They look like they need to be prepared more.
We can't be losing to the Hawks.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, or Penn, or Columbia, or Drexel. Like, I mean, somehow, some way, our talent being in our conference of the Big East has to supersede anything that these Ivy schools or have. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day, but let's just hope that he turns things around, because I like him. I know him. I like all the other assistants. They're great guys, and I remember how my business was in the glory days from like 16 to like 19.
Yeah.
It was that when they do well, we do well,
All of Villanova does.
Yep.
I mean, look across the street.
Yeah.
That whole, all the commons were built or a direct derivative of the success of the athletic program.
Yeah.
Primarily the basketball team. And
Totally
that's when
agree.
the money and the donors start getting their checkbooks out when success happens.
Yep.
Well, that will be the end of our interview with John, nicknamed Z, the owner of Campus Corner Pizza. John, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. I appreciate Nick and you guys even offering me to be here. Thank you.
Well, thanks so
And
much.
what hours are you open so students can check you out?
It's a good question. So we're open on Sundays from 12 noon to 11 p.m. Mondays 11 to 11.
Okay.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays 11 to 12.
Okay.
Thursdays 11 to 1 a.m.
Wow.
And then Friday and Saturday it's the 11 to 2 a.m.
So it gets later and later as you go.
As we go. And like I said, we've reduced all those hours since COVID, and we enjoy the less time so much that we never went back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We will be back here in a few short moments. You're listening to 89.1 WXVU, The Roar.
I'm MK Coolican, station manager for WXVU, and you're listening to 89.1 The Roar. Check out WXVU.org, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify to hear WXVU DJ MK Coolican speak with Mick Kovlin, a former student of vice presidential candidate Tim Walz. That's only on 89.1 WXVU The Roar.
Villanova University's WXVU Villanova, serving the main line, including Montgomery, Delaware, and Chester counties at 89.1 on your FM dial. We're streaming online at our website, wxvu.org. Nominated for Best Station Imaging for Swinging Fridays at the 2024 National Student Production Awards. We are V89.1 The Roar.
Hi, this is Paula Hooley, a Villanova DJ from the 1970s. We were called WKVU back then. And my alumni pals, we get together at every single reunion, not just our graduation year, because we loved our station so much. My experience back at Villanova Radio shaped my career. To this day, I'm a media buyer and still active in radio. I'm so proud of everything I see happening now at WXVU. So keep listening to Villanova's V89.1, The Roar.
Have you received a suspicious email from a professor or have been asked to communicate with them outside your Villanova email address? Have you been presented a job opportunity that requests you to purchase gift cards as a form of payment? If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Don't fall victim to malicious scams. If you come across an email that looks suspicious, don't take the bait. Report the fish. You can do this by using the Report Message button in Outlook. You can visit villanova.edu/phishing with a PH to learn more to keep yourself, your peers, and our university cyber safe.
Girl, that's like your third energy drink today. You've got to slow down with those.
What? I forgot to have coffee this morning and I have 4 classes in a row today. I don't know how else I'm going to get through it.
Okay, but look, your hands are shaking. Do you even know what all this caffeine is doing to your body?
Not really. According to the United States Food and Drug Administration, caffeine can make us feel more alert and awake. But caffeine can also disrupt your sleep and cause anxiety, increased heart rate, worsened moods, and in more serious cases, death.
Oh, wow. Good thing I'm a tea drinker.
Actually, caffeine is found in other things too. Various teas, medication, and foods contain caffeine, which only adds to the amount that people are unknowingly consuming.
For more information, tune into our podcast, Wake Up, The Dangers of Caffeine Overconsumption at WXVU.org.
This public service announcement is brought to you by senior nursing students at the M. Louise Fitzpatrick College of Nursing and WXV and U Health.
Put some pep in your step because it's Swingin' Fridays. Every Friday on WXVU V89.1 The Roar.
You're listening to 89.1 WXVU The Roar. Nick and I are just going to wrap up a little bit here. We want to get out of the way so John's show can come on. What is it? Ordinary People Doing Extraordinary Things.
Yep.
It's a really cool talk show on every Friday after the morning roar at 10 a.m. So definitely check that out. Any last parting words, Nick?
Listen, guys. I know the whole situation with Kyle Neptune and potentially whatever might be coming from the women's team. We don't know. We're going to play. We played against Princeton, I think, last night, and we didn't win. And we play Columbia tomorrow, and we have another game tonight with the men's team. And listen, I understand. First of all, if we don't do well with the women's team, we got to thug it out. Point blank. Period. Denise Dillon, we got to have a little faith, right? We know she's a great coach. She's been consistent. We've had players like Maddie Segrist, Lucy Olson, Christina Dulce come through that program, and they're all heavyweight, high voltage players. She's proved herself time and time again, and that coaching staff is amazing. If we're not great this year, it's because we have a lot of new players. Just let Denise work her magic, and that's going to be it.
So let's tune in to women's basketball if you're losing faith in the men's team.
That's another thing. People be saying, like, I can't go to these men's games anymore.
The women's games rock.
The women's games rock, and guess what? They're also empty.
Yes. That's why I like them.
So go to the women's games. Don't be such, I don't want to, a lot of things I can't stand on.
Misogyny!
But if you don't like the men's games, go to the women's games. They're, let me tell you, band's always there as well. We have a great time. We're cheering on our favorites.
Go see the Morning Roar Celebrity, guys.
Yeah.
Nick is there on drum kit. But for now, we're going to head out of here so the next show can get prepped. 2 talk shows back-to-back is no joke here on Friday morning. And we have a full stack this entire Friday and probably for the rest of the semester. A couple new shows today, Ava on Aux, and a couple others. But definitely check that out. We'll be going until 8 p.m. today of live shows. So WXVU is ramping up, as always, never slowing down. And you've been listening to the Morning Roar on 89.1 WXVU The Roar. Make sure to listen next week at 9 a.m. on Friday. For now, I'm MK Coolican.
And I'm Nick Williams.
And have a great weekend.
Yup.